Hey everyone. I just want to start this off by saying I am a huge fan of Stephen Curry. I'm not a fan of the Golden State Warriors, but I believe that he perfectly embodies my personal definition of leadership. So with that said, I just want to talk about what my personal definition of leadership is. I believe that a leader is someone that is determined, hardworking, and willing to make sacrifices for the betterment of a group. The determined and hardworking thing is something that I've always felt leaders should be. But the sacrificial portion is something that is newly added to my definition. And I learned it from Simon Sinek in one of his videos titled Why Good Leaders Make You Feel Safe. In this video, he talks about a CEO who his company was affected by the recession in 2008. When he met with the board of the company, they decided that he should lay off some of the employees, and he refused. He said that instead he was going to implement a furlough program where all of the employees were required to take 4 weeks of unpaid vacation because as he said, it's better that we should all suffer a little than any of us should suffer a lot. This was very well received by the employees. Their morale and production skyrocketed. The company ended up saving double what they set out to save. And to me, that quote really resonated with me. So I decided to add that to my personal definition of leadership. And with that said, I feel like I can now better explain why I feel that Steph Curry is the perfect embodiment of leadership to me. Challenge the process. So I'll start off by talking about Stephen Curry in high school. He was not a very heavily recruited high school athlete. None of the big college basketball programs really wanted him. He was ranked by 247 Sports as the 256th best high school basketball player in the country. And so, with his options being as limited as they were, he decided to go to Davidson College in North Carolina, a small liberal arts college. And despite what his critics said, he ignored all that. He stayed determined, worked hard, and his freshman year, he averaged 22 points per game. He followed that with 26 points per game in his junior season and 20 in his sophomore season and 29 in his junior season. His final season of college basketball was his junior season. In that season, he led the 10th seeded Davidson Wildcats to the Elite Eight of the NCAA tournament, where they lost to Kansas, the eventual champion of the tournament, and they were the closest team to beating them throughout that tournament. They only lost by 2 points, the closest of anyone, which is insanely impressive for a team as small as Davidson. Curry proved in college that he was a good enough basketball player to move on to the next level, to the NBA. So after his junior season, he declared for the NBA draft. And he was met with a lot of the same criticism, that he was too small, that he was unathletic and not explosive enough to be an impact at the NBA level. Despite all that, he was still selected with the 7th overall pick, and that is an insanely impressive accomplishment for someone that just 3 years earlier was rated as the 256th best high school basketball player in America. Model the way. Curry was successful through his first few years in the NBA, but it wasn't until the Warriors installed their three-point first offense that he really started to prove to be a star in the league. They realized they could distort the math. The three-point shot is obviously worth more than two, and they could shoot a lower percentage from three and still be competitive. So that was the point when they started going from a mediocre NBA team to a playoff and championship contender. Steph Curry was the face of this, and he still is, as the NBA kind of moves more towards this three-point first offense. All the teams are doing this now, and Steph Curry was the driving force behind that. We started seeing more and more young players doing the same thing, playing this style of basketball. Trae Young is the latest example, a college basketball player at the University of Oklahoma. He's probably the closest resemblance to Stephen Curry that we've seen in college since he left. And if it wasn't for Steph Curry paving the way to the NBA and proving that this style of basketball can work, Trae Young probably would be going through some of the same issues that Curry went through high school and college, people undervaluing his basketball abilities. Inspiring a shared vision. Curry enjoyed success playing in this new style of basketball. The Warriors won their first championship since '75 in 2015. And during the 15 season, he won his first NBA Most Valuable Player award. They followed that championship season by winning their first 24 games in 2016. They set an NBA record with 73 wins that season, and they lost to the LeBron James-led Cleveland Cavaliers in the finals that year. And it was at this point that I believe that Stephen Curry made the biggest sacrifice, most unselfish move that I have ever seen any athlete make. There's no doubt that the Warriors could have simply moved on. They would have been a good team, and Steph Curry would probably be an MVP contender that next year. But instead, he decided to put his personal ego behind him and recruit Kevin Durant to come play for the Warriors. Kevin Durant's arguably a better player than Stephen Curry, but having him as a teammate would make this team almost unbeatable. So Steph decided to put his personal accolades behind him and do this for the betterment of the team. He recruited Durant, and according to Sports Illustrated, he said he told Durant in a text message that he could care less about who the face of the franchise was, who gets the most recognition or sells the most shoes. He said that Curry's message to Durant was that he truly cared about winning championships, and he'd like to do that with Durant as a teammate. The ultimate unselfish quote from Stephen Curry. So the Golden State Warriors added Kevin Durant that next season, and they won an NBA championship in 2017. Something that may not have been possible if Curry didn't decide to put his personal ego behind him and recruit Kevin Durant to come play for the Warriors. Enabling others to act. I'll now transition kind of into a more personal aspect of Curry's life. He's been more and more politically active in the past couple of years. He's been a vocal supporter of Colin Kaepernick and his efforts to inspire social change. Curry's been quoted as saying, I'm not on the extreme like some of the other guys, talking about his political activism. And he's not going to infuse himself into every conversation, but I encourage, no matter what you do in life, if someone wants to know how you feel, you tell them how you feel, you stand by it, and you live with those consequences and the changes that you can make. To me, that sounds the perfect definition of someone that is trying to enable others to act and what they believe in. He's using his platform as an athlete to speak out for things that he believes in, and whether you agree with him or not, you can't deny that he's doing what he believes is right. And onto the final section, encourage the heart. Here I just want to talk about Curry's philanthropy efforts. He is involved with the Nothing But Nets Foundation, and he pledged with the Nothing But Nets Foundation, who provides bed nets for people in Africa to prevent malaria. And he pledged to Nothing But Nets that for every 3-point shot that he makes, he'll give 3 bed nets to the foundation. Through 2012 to 2015, this resulted in him donating close to 2,500 bed nets. He was invited actually to the White House to receive an award for his charitable efforts. Along with his work with Nothing But Nets, he also hosts a charity golf tournament that benefits underprivileged families in Davidson, North Carolina, where he went to college. It's obvious that Curry is aware that basketball is just a game and that there are bigger issues in the world. And he uses his platform to inspire others to act and in order to tackle some of those issues, and inspires his followers to do the same. So with that, thank you. Here are my references. Have a nice day.